Oh, sick, the new information about set 7.5 just dropped. Let's take a look and see what... No. Mort Dog, why? Mort has forsaken us. Oh no, this is the end. This is the end of TFT. It's been a good ride, y'all. But it's over.
No! You maniac! You blew her up! Oh, damn you! God damn you all to hell!
What's up, you knuckleheads? It's Josh here, and today we are talking about TFT set 7.5. Yes, that's right, the mid-set update for set 7 is finally here. And today I'm going to be talking about the biggest changes that are coming in the mid-set update, including discussions about the new origins, the new dragon system, and some of the new augments. So this is more for if you haven't had the chance to follow along with the changes to set 7.5, maybe the set just dropped, and you need the broad strokes big picture of what's changed. Here you go, the top 5 things that are changing in set 7.5. Number 1, and the biggest change by far, is to the dragon system. No longer will you have a limit on the number of dragons that you can play without losing the dragon bonuses. You may have noticed in my TFT tier list every patch, I never listed the dragon horde comp on the tier list, and that's because it was entirely dependent on you getting the augment for dragon's horde. And I didn't really want to put a comp on the tier list that I wasn't confident that you'd be able to play every game. But those worries are gone in the mid-set update. Now you can play as many dragons as you want. They still cost 2 item slots, but you can play more than one of them, and they actually give more bonuses the more dragons you have on the board. In addition, dragons have now gotten cheaper. There are no more 10 cost dragons. Dragons are now somewhere between 6 and 8 gold. That's right, there are essentially 3 cost dragons now in the game, but 4 cost dragons are 7 gold to buy, and 5 cost dragons are now 8 gold to buy. All of this together means the big takeaway: play your dragons a lot more. They're going to be extremely contested in set 7.5 because they are so strong, and so you're going to see a lot of people going to Fast 9, and reroll comps are just going to have to get way ahead earlier on, or they're going to get decimated by all the dragons in the late game. Big change number 2 is the new origins. There are 2 new origins, Lagoon and Darkflight, and one origin that has returned from set 7 but has been reworked. Starting with Lagoon, it's kind of similar to traits like Fortune and Pirate, but instead of waiting for a victory round to cash in and get the loot, this one actually grants a sea stone on the board that is granting more loot as your units cast abilities. This means it's going to scale a lot better, but I'm anticipating that the loot that it grants is not going to be quite as good. It's going to take a while to ramp up before you can get like items and things like that. But Lagoon is probably the comp that I'm going to look to play the first when I get on PBE and just see how it scales and how it feels, with some of the units that are in the comp seem to be pretty interesting and could be pretty strong. The next new origin is Darkflight, and this one is kind of similar to Legend. You sacrifice 1 unit on your board in the Darkflight space, and that unit will give a copy of an item it's holding to the other Darkflights on your board. So the strategy is probably going to be you're going to find a very weak Darkflight and put 1 item on it that can be used by just about every other unit on your board. Something like Shojin or Titan's Resolve, just something that's generally good on units regardless of whether they're DPS or tank. Finally, we have the rework of the Astral comp, which is a slight rework. It gets rid of the increased chance to get Astral champions in your shop. Instead, it's just granting an Astral orb after every player combat. But it is still geared towards rerolling because the combined star level of your Astral units will increase the quality of the orb, which means if you're rerolling comps and getting 3 stars, better loot from you. This probably means you're still going to be seeing a lot of ASOL comps, and maybe some looks comps too, depending on how she shakes out. Finally, you can see here the current lineup of units and origins that are in TFT, and this is the shift to the new units and origins in TFT. So you can see Revel is gone, along with Trainer. Trainer has actually been repurposed a bit. Namzi is just a dragon now, but yeah, those 2 origins are gone, replaced by Lagoon and Darkflight. And quick aside, just so you know, I am going to be doing a lot more TFT content when set 7.5 drops, including a new sort of weird challenge series that I hope that you guys will like. So be sure to keep it here if you want to see some more set 7.5 content. The third big change that you need to know is that there are a lot of new augments. There's a lot of really kind of cool game-breaking augments like Consistency, which will double the gold you get from a streak. Dragon Imperialist, which will grant your dragon an execute if the enemies are below 25% health, but only if you have one dragon on the board. So this could be a very powerful augment if you're not going for a dragon horde comp. Lucky Gloves, which grants Thief's Gloves to a champion, but it only gives them units that they actually can use well, which is really kind of cool because now you're getting Thief's Gloves and you don't get to choose the items, but you can guarantee that your mage isn't getting like 2 attack speed items or 2 tank items. There are also some emblem augments that are now granting items. For instance, Ragewing Soul grants you an additional Ragewing and you get a Ginsu's Rage Blade. That's really cool. And then finally, yes, I teased it in the beginning and in the thumbnail, but pay to win does appear to be coming to TFT. It was not clickbait. This is from Riot More. This appears to be a brand new gold augment where if you purchase a shop refresh, champions holding a Shimmer Scale item and Shimmer Scale champions get damage stack for the next combat, basically rewarding you to reroll anytime you're playing Shimmer Scale. So yeah, it is pay to win. It's actually coming to TFT, but don't worry, you can put your credit cards away. Fourth big change is that Frozen Heart is no more. Now we have a new item called Winner. The hell is that name? Anyway, it grants bonus starting mana, and once per combat at 50% health, allies within 3 hexes of the Winter holder get a maximum health shield, and they get bonus armor and MR for the rest of combat. So that's actually pretty huge, and I think it's a nice replacement to Frozen Heart because Mort was saying during set 7 that it is kind of awful to have an item which you put on assassins and then they reduce the attack speed of the back line, that the Frozen Heart really has limited uses. I do kind of like that personally, that there are items that you want to put on specific units. This one does seem to be better versus all, but Fimbulwinter does seem pretty useful in most circumstances. And finally, number 5, the last big change is to the Treasure Dragon. Yes, after the combat of stage 4, you no longer have to face a PvE opponent. You get the Treasure Dragon that you can refresh. Now you are going to have the opportunity to receive a Chaos Treasure Dragon or an Order Treasure Dragon. And these Treasure Dragons are basically just going to give you different kinds of loot. So now you can get things like Radiant items, Ornn items, uncraftable emblems, target dummies, and a bunch of other really cool stuff. It's just making the last item stage even more exciting because usually in that last stage, you're kind of only looking for 1 or 2 components or maybe 1 completed item. Now you're going to have even more chaos because you could maybe sacrifice getting that Ginsu's that you need for your Xayah. Instead, you get like a Radiant item for your tank. And so I think that just opens up a lot more playmaking, and that's really, really cool. And don't worry, I am planning on doing a set 7.5 guide and best comps video, just like I did for set 7. A TFT tier list for the final patch of set 7 is also coming. You can check out the most recent patch tier list here. Until next time, I'll catch you later, Knuckleheads. Peace!